Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I have another vintage quilt block for you. This one is called Friendship Star, and it's a nice 16-inch block, and I made it with two colors and a background. It's got a goldish yellow and kind of an aqua teal print, and it makes a nice big block. It has a lot of pieces, and this one does take time to make, so this isn't one you can get done in 15 minutes. It's going to take you some time, but it's made with flying geese units and half square triangles and 4-patch units, so I think it's something that you probably could handle. You're just going to need to realize it's going to take you time to do this because of the number of pieces in it. So I would still call this an intermediate block because of the number of pieces in it and because of all the points that you have to match when you put all these units together. But anyway, I hope you'll give this one a try. Now, last week I promised to have the layout for the quilt I'm working on, and I'll pop that up here on the screen and you can look at that while I'm talking to you. Now, the link to this layout is in the description box below, and that'll get you to the blog page where that is, and you can download it from there, and it's free, just like the instructions for all the blocks are also free. And I will also load another layout, which is another option for you, that uses 5 16-inch squares, and then the rest are 12-inch squares, and then there's another layout that doesn't use quite as many blocks. So this will hopefully help give you some ideas on ways you can lay out this quilt if you're working on it, or any quilt you're working on if you're wanting some ideas for a layout. So I hope you'll give that a try. So in the meantime, I hope you'll stick with me, and I'll show you how to put the Friendship Star block together. Okay, here are the fabrics that you're going to need to make the Friendship Star. And it looks like a lot here, but we're going to sew this together in units and then put the units together to make the block. So don't let it overwhelm you. Okay, for our fabrics, I chose yellow and this aqua-ish teal type color. So for piece A, you need one 4.5-inch square. For B, you need 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. For C, you need one 6-inch square. For D, you need 22.5-inch squares. E is 2 6-inch squares. F is 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. G is also 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. H is a 6-inch square, and I is 16 2.5-inch squares. So there are a lot of pieces in this block, but it makes a real pretty block. Now on the C pieces, or the C piece, there's only one C piece, and the H piece, you're going to draw a diagonal line going in both directions on the wrong side, and you can see that on that one and here on this one. I've already drawn those on there. What we're going to do is make 8 at a time half square triangles. That just kind of speeds up the process. So that's what that is about. Let's get started, and we'll make the flying geese units first. So we're going to take the I squares and the B rectangles, and we're going to make some flying geese. So I'm going to adjust the camera and we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to make 4 flying geese units with the B rectangles and the I squares. So we're going to need 8 of these squares. We're not going to use all of them here. So now if you want, you can draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of your I squares and sew along that line. What I have done is I have a piece of glow line tape on my the base of my machine that goes from the needle down, and it's perpendicular to this straight line here. So I know that it's all squared up, and I'm going to just as I run this through the machine, I'm going to watch this point and make sure it stays right on the edge of that tape, and that way I know I'm getting a straight line. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and So to get started, I'm going to start in the middle and line my needle up with the tip of that white square, and then I have this tip lined up against, this corner lined up against the tape, and then I'm just going to sew. And I'm going to chain piece all 4 of these on that one side, working on the same side of each piece to kind of save time. Make sure all my raw edges are lined up. And the reason I don't draw the line is because of this tape, I don't need to draw the line and it saves me time. So that's why I do it that way. And there is foundation paper you can buy at various places to do this if you prefer that method. And there are rulers and templates and two at a time flying geese methods. There's all different ways you can do this. Okay, I'm going to clip these apart. And then I'm going to grab my other scissors and I'm going to trim off this outer corner, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So do that to all 4. Okay, and now I'm going to press the triangle open and it'll make half of the flying geese unit. Okay, so I've got all of those done, and now we're going to do the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing, line up my raw edges, and then I'm going to sew from the center to the bottom right corner. Okay. And just clip them apart, and then I'm going to trim off this outer corner again and press, and then we'll have these done. Okay, so here are the flying geese units now. So I've got 4 of those. And I need to make another set of flying geese units. Okay, for the second set of flying geese, we're going to use F rectangles and D squares. So we're going to make 4 flying geese units here. And once again, you can draw a diagonal line on the back of your squares, or you can use the method that I'm using here with the tape on the machine, on the bed of the machine. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, clip them apart, trim, and press. Okay, so what I have is I have 4 of these units. So I'm going to put the other side on, and I'm going to do the same, lining everything up, sewing from the center to the outer corner. Okay, clip them apart, trim, and press. So here are these flying geese units. So next thing I need to do is to sew those together with these flying geese units. So the white ones are going to be at the top, and the white and yellow ones at the top, and the blue and the yellow ones at the bottom. So they're going to go together like this. So I'm going to just stack them up and sew them together. and you can sew them from whatever side you like. There is a point of the flying geese, so if you want to make sure you don't cut that off, then you want that point, you'll want that on the top. If you want to be able to see that flying geese, the point of the flying geese, then you want that on the top. So now we have all the flying geese done. We need to make half square triangles, and we're going to do the 8 at a time method. Okay, I have, this is the C square and this is the E square. So I'm going to put those two together, right sides together, and I have the drawn lines from corner to corner, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch away from both sides of both lines. So we're going to do just some straight line sewing here. Okay, I'm just going to flip it around, do the other side. Now I'm going to do the other drawn line. Swing that around and do the other side. So that's all the sewing. And I'm going to take my pins out. And I do have these pinned to keep things from shifting while I'm sewing. Okay, now I'm going to get my rotating cutting mat, and we're going to cut this into 8 pieces. Okay, so here's my rotating mat, and first thing I want to do is to cut from side to side. There aren't any drawn lines on here, so this is a 6-inch square, so I know that 3 inches would cut this in half equally, and I want this cut to go straight through the center so I can see that it's going right through the intersection right there of the drawn lines, so I know I'm okay there. So I'll do one cut. I'm going to lift it up without moving the fabric. I'm going to rotate my mat. And now I'm going to cut the other way. Looks like my fabric moved just a little bit, so I'm going to move it back. And then once again, line everything up and cut. Okay, now I need to cut on the drawn lines, so I'm going to rotate the mat again so that my lines are going straight up and down. Now this isn't quite as critical because you've already got your seam sewn in here, so you're just cutting the seam allowance apart. The ones that you're doing that are perpendicular to the sides are a little more critical because you're cutting outside the seam allowance. So let's see, I want to go this way. Okay, and now I have 8 half square triangles like that. And you open them up. There is the half square triangle right there. Okay, so I'm going to leave these right here. I'm going to press them in a minute, but the next thing I need to do is to make half square triangles with the E and the A squares also. So I have the A square with the X drawn on the back, so I'm going to place that right sides together with the E square. Just like that. Have my raw edges even. And I'm going to pin these so they won't shift while I'm sewing. Okay, now I'm going to sew 1/4 inch away from these drawn lines on both sides, just like I did for these half square triangles. Next thing I want to do is to get rid of the dog ears, and you can do that with a rotary cutter, or you can just snip them off with scissors like I'm doing here. Okay, so now I need to sew these together, and there's 2 different layouts that I need for these. So let me separate the colors, and for the first layout I need it to go like this. Okay, and I need 4 of these, so we'll put 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's one layout, and for the second layout it needs to go this way and this way. So you can see the diamonds it's forming a diamond, but the diamonds would be coming together. So we're going to make 4 of these. And here's a corner I didn't get off. Okay, so now I can just sew these seams here. So we'll just chain piece these all together. Okay, so now we need to press these, and you can press them to the side or you can press them open. And actually I think I'll press these open. Okay, now the last unit is a 4-patch. So we're going to make 4 patches out of these. So we need 4 D's and 4 I's, or we're going to need 8 D's and 8 I's to make four patch units. So we're going to go ahead and sew these together. So we're just going to chain piece them, a yellow to a white, and then we'll press, and then we'll sew the pairs together. I'm going to press all these towards the yellow. Now we need to make 4 patch units out of those. So we're going to take, I'm going to stack 4 of them together. 4 and 4. I'll flip this one around, and then we're going to sew these together, and we'll sew straight down this line. Okay, now you can pin these together if you want, but I'm going to just nest my seams together like that. Just butt those up to each other and they will nest, and just go ahead and sew. So now we have all the 4 patch units. Okay, next thing I need to do is to lay out the block. Upper corner with the 4 patch. And now I need that unit there. This unit. This one, and then another 4 patch. And I'm watching the way the yellow pieces lie, because they're going to go towards the center. Okay, so that's row 1. And for row 2, I need this unit. I need a yellow square. White rectangle, another yellow square, and I need this unit like this. Okay, so I've got all these yellows coming together right here, so that's how I know that's correct. And then for the center, we'll use a flying geese unit, rectangle, a G rectangle, which is the white one, and I need the A square, which is yellow, another G rectangle, and a flying geese unit. Okay, so there is 3/5 of the block. Now the next row is the same as this, only in flipped, and this is the same as the last row, only flipped. So let's see how much of this I can get in. I'm going to move up a little bit. Okay, so I need that unit, a yellow square. So you can see these are just mirror imaged from this row. And I need white rectangle, yellow square, and then this unit here, the half square triangle unit. Now when I get to this point, I have to remember that these colors are going to be opposite here and here, but they match together in the diagonal, but when they're side by side they're opposite each other. Okay, so the last row is a 4-patch unit matching the yellows here, this rectangle unit. Let's see if I can move this down so you can see better. There we go. Okay, so 4-patch unit, flying geese unit with the yellows matching. I need flying geese, this half square triangle unit, and then a 4-patch unit, and there we go. So there is the whole block all laid out. So now I just need to sew that together in rows. So I'll adjust the camera and start sewing. Okay, so here are all my rows, and so now I need to press, and you know, it's kind of up to you how you want to press these. There's just lots of seams coming together here, so it's basically up to you if you want to press them open or if you want to press them to one side. Now I have better luck matching things up if they're pressed to opposite sides, but that's not always the easiest thing to do. So like if I start in the center, if I press towards the yellow in the center, I'd have to press this side towards the yellow here. And this seam, if I press this one towards the white, I'd press this one towards here. And so you're going to have bulk on both sides no matter what you do. So you can press open. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. I think I am going to start in the center and work my way out. And I'll just press each one of these seams to set the stitches. And then I'm going to go ahead and press that one towards the white and this towards the yellow. Let's see how this works. Now if you start pressing and you realize it's not going to work for you, you can always repress. So now we sew the rows together. And I'm going to have to pin everything. Okay, so here's the block, and I need to press. So I think it turned out pretty good. There's a couple of spots that are not perfect as far as points, but you know, overall I think it turned out really well. So now I just need to press, and however you press, once again, is up to you. There's an awful lot of seams coming together in these sections here. and you may want to press your seams open to kind of distribute that fullness. So I think I will go ahead and press these seams open if I can get them started. This is the Friendship Star block. Well, that's it for the Friendship Star block. I hope you'll give this one a try. It's a little bit challenging just due to the number of pieces that are in it. The techniques are what we've been doing all along for the past year, about a year and a half now, the same kind of techniques. We've got half square triangles, flying geese units, 4-patch units. So it's nothing difficult. It's just a lot of pieces to put together, and you have points to match. So anyway, I hope you'll give this one a try. I think you'll really enjoy it. So I thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.